Ghana Cranes are in pursuit of a fourth successive qualification to the CHAN competition. In the rest of the 2020 championship, they do visit Burundi in Bujumbura this weekend in the first leg. We'll be talking that. And as well in the English Premier League, Liverpool are unbeaten in the first 5 games of the season, 15 points on board, but they have a tricky encounter when they visit Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge on Sunday. And in Italy, Juventus is off the patch for the first time in 552 days. Well, the big team at the top now is Inter Milan. Do they keep at the top this weekend? In the Milan derby, they do take on AC Milan. In the Formula 1, will the Red Bull and the Mercedes boss the party in Singapore, or Ferrari will join the party under the lights? Welcome to the Just Darren Show, powered by Betway.
Betway's Sport to Score is back and better than ever. Play our weekly soccer predictor where you could win your share of an amazing cash prize each week. Simply choose the first goal scorers in 4 selected matches and submit your selection before the first match kicks off. Entry is free, and if the prize isn't won, it'll roll over to the following week. Bet your way with Betway.
Now, the 2020 CHAN competition will be played in Cameroon next year, a year before the same country hosted Africa Cup of Nations. The Ghana Cranes would love to be at both tournaments. Already, they are on their way on course for the ticket to the 2020 CHAN competition. They've already eliminated Somalia in the first step that they did take. They eliminated Somalia 7-2 on aggregate, and now moving into the first round of the qualifiers in the Central East Zone. The Uganda Cranes do take on Burundi this weekend in Bujumbura, is where the first leg will be played. The Uganda Cranes traveling away, and an 18-man squad that was named early this week for the interim coach, that is Abdallah Mobidu. It's of course got some names from KCCA Football Club, and of course I think about 5 of them, including the goalkeeper Charles Lukwago. Mike Mutiaba, who returns to the Uganda Cranes setup for the first time in 5 years. In between those years, he's retired. He's been a footballer's agent, but he's returned to playing football at KCCA, and now he's part of the squad. And of course, not to forget other names like Paul Wheeler and the other goalkeeper being James Alitho, among other names. The Uganda Cranes playing Burundi this weekend. You can actually think of the names that will be trying to jostle for slots in the midfield, like Muzamira Mutiaba and Nicolas Kasozi, among others. Of course, some other names have been relegated to the under-20 national side, like Bright Anokani, and the Cranes will only hope that they can get a decent result, one that they are able of overturning when they host Burundi in the subsequent fortnight. Now, looking at this encounter, I think the Cranes stand a huge chance to progress. One, they are the giants in this region, the Sekafa region. They are the record winners of the Sekafa Football Championship, and here I think they will be getting closer to taking another ticket to the CHAN competition. Well, they've qualified in the 2014 edition. They were there. They did feature the 2016 edition in Rwanda and the 2018 edition in Morocco, and I still think that will be making their way to the 2020 edition in Cameroon. Of course, these are the matches that will prepare the home-based players before they come into the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers that come up later on in November. You can bet on the CHAN qualifiers, all available on www.betway.ug this weekend.
Jimmy really likes hard work. Really. It's how he gets better at what he does. It's how he learns. It's how he impresses people. And it's how he knows United are worth it this weekend at 3.2. Oh yes, Jimmy really likes hard work. Because hard work sometimes pays off.
Now, the first races of the Formula 1 were a bit boring for the ordinary fan. But as things have gone by, it seems to get interesting day by day, because the Ferrari is coming into the picture, the Red Bull hasn't left the scene yet, and of course the Mercedes is still top of the drivers' standings. That is the drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton top of the drivers' charts with 184.63 points, clear of his immediate rival, who is actually his teammate for Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas, and of course the Silver Arrow will head to the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Circuit, and under those lights, the rivalry again will be up when Ferrari takes on the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Now, of course, the pundits have gone for Mercedes and Red Bull to be dominant here, especially the Red Bull car, particularly that of Max Verstappen when they do take on the Mercedes cars here at the Singapore Grand Prix this weekend on Sunday. And of course, the unique bit about this one is the drivers drive under the lights, but there's been talk of the Ferrari coming into the picture. Well, even if the Mercedes and the Red Bull are favorites here, with the conditions of Singapore favoring those two cars, in this particular instance, Ferrari has come up largely because of the driver Charles Leclerc. He's won the previous two races at Spa and in Monza, that is the Belgian Grand Prix and the Italian Grand Prix races. Back-to-back victories for the Ferrari driver. The bigger question has remained with the other four-time champion, that is Sebastian Vettel, because he's fifth on the drivers' charts behind Leclerc and also Max Verstappen in third place on the drivers' standings. And perhaps it is time Vettel stood up. Will it be in Singapore? Well, he's had 11 races already there, and he's had 4 pole positions and 4 victories there, just like Hamilton, by the way. So you can bet on the Formula 1, by the way, this weekend on www.betway.ug. The favorite, though, remains Lewis Hamilton. He's won the most races this season. The odd for him to win is at 2.25, but that for Verstappen at 2.55, and that for the man that is Sebastian Vettel as high as 13.50. You can bet on the Formula 1. You can bet on who will take pole position on Saturday. You can bet on who will be able to top the practices among all the other events that will be happening in the Formula 1 this weekend, all available on www.betway.ug. Now, the English Premier League is back with match day number 6. Top of the table is Liverpool, unscathed after 5 games, 15 points on board. The only team with a 100% record. This weekend, they've got a tough encounter and they travel to London. We'll be getting into that fixture. But I'm joined by 2 fans here. Jude Mugabe, a Manchester United fan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
As well as a Chelsea fan, Edward Tumwine, who also joins us here for the show once again. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be back.
Fantastic. I'll begin with you, Edward.
Yes.
Chelsea, they seem to be struggling on one day. On another, they are blowing hot.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the boys since we got beaten by Manchester in the opening game. They've been showing glimpses of good football, but I think our biggest undoing is our defense. We really have a big hole in defense. Rudiger is still out injured, and Zuma is still not yet showing that he's ready to play top-flight football.
Interesting. And of course, Chelsea is the opponent for Liverpool this weekend. It's the big encounter. It comes up on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. East African time at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Liverpool. Now, the interesting bit, though, is Liverpool has not suffered any other defeat against Chelsea in the last 9 meetings. 1 loss only at the Stamford Bridge. Jude, tough statistic here for Chelsea to beat.
Sure. And there's a bigger one that Liverpool has not lost a game since March 3rd in the league. So, and I don't see that changing this weekend.
You don't see it changing this weekend. And when I get to you, Edward,
Yes.
Chelsea lost to Liverpool in the UEFA Super Cup
Yes.
via penalties.
Yes.
Tough defeat.
Yes.
They lost in the Premier League previously to Manchester United.
Yes.
A response was pretty much difficult against Leicester City.
Yes.
Somehow, they find their groove. Tammy Abraham, how important is he?
Tammy Abraham has really impressed me. I think he has come of age. He's scoring more often, and his finishing is good. He's good with aerial balls, but he's still not yet top draw like a real top class striker would be. I think these are early signs. Let's give him time to see if he'll really be that 30 goal striker per season. But against Liverpool, I do not see him causing a lot of trouble to Van Dijk. I don't see it yet.
Well, last weekend, he became the first Englishman since Frank Lampard in 2011 to score a hat-trick for Chelsea in the Premier League. Jude, I'll turn to you. Tammy Abraham does that. How will he go past Virgil van Dijk on Sunday?
That's going to be a tricky one, but I think he's a striker who we didn't know much about we the outsiders, not the non-Chelsea fans. But he came the first game of the season. He didn't score, but then he went on to miss the decisive penalty against Liverpool in the Super Cup. But since then he has bounced back and scored 7 goals. So I don't think we need any more signs that he's a good striker. I think he may hit 20 goals this season.
But
and
now
he's going to be important for them on Saturday.
But now Chelsea has a problem.
Yes.
Mason Mount out injured.
Yes.
Antonio Rudiger is still a problem.
Yes.
They concede every game. In the first 5 games of the season, Chelsea has the second poorest defense. The only team that has conceded more than them is Norwich, 12 goals. Chelsea has conceded 11, they've scored 11. How do they avert this against a Liverpool that has more money, Bobby?
It's a really very worrying statistic for Chelsea and Lampard. If you've been watching Chelsea's games, if we are to win a game, we win it in the first half. So basically, our best football is in the first half, and second half we just come to contain or try to gamble with the result. And playing a top flight team like Liverpool, that's a very huge gamble because they will attack you from the first minute to the 90th minute. They have the best attacking trio in the league with Mane, Salah and Firmino, so we really need to patch our defense up. I really think he needs to really beef that defense with Fikayo Tomori to be able to at least try and cut the margin if we're to get anything out of this game.
But is it possible?
I don't think it's possible to. The damage is already done. With Mount out, our biggest prospect going forward, and Rudiger still out with a groin injury, I see doom.
You see doom?
Yes.
Well, in the UEFA Champions League early this week, Chelsea did lose to Valencia at home, 1-0. On the same night, Napoli did floor Liverpool away in Italy, 2-0, with Jurgen Klopp complaining that the penalty was a little unfair that Napoli did get for them to win 2-0. Judy, this is where I turn to you. In the Premier League, Liverpool is flawless. In the Community Shield, they lost to Man City. In the Champions League, it's been a poor start, a false start. Other competitions, there are problems, but the Premier League looks like Liverpool is trying to bake the best cake they've done in the last 3 decades.
Yeah, sure. And the fact that they have developed a 5-point gap with Man City shows their intentions already. But going back to that particular fixture, Liverpool-Chelsea, they've managed to forge a rivalry over the last few years, Benitez and Mourinho since those days. And one thing you didn't point out was that Liverpool as well defense has not been that good. They've been shaky. I don't know whether it's the absence of Alisson Becker, but they've also conceded goals in every game except against Burnley. It's the only game where they've kept a clean sheet. So come Saturday, I see both teams scoring still, but Liverpool going on to win it. The best Chelsea can get from that game is a draw.
The best Chelsea can get is a draw. On www.betway.ug, the odd for a draw on that this Sunday, by the way, it is 3.80. For Chelsea to win at home, it is 3.57. And for Liverpool to win away from home in London on Sunday, the odd is at 1.97. What do you go for, Edwin?
It pains me saying this, but I'm going with a Liverpool win.
Interesting.
I don't feel we're ready yet.
Will Chelsea score?
Yes, we will score, but we can't win this game.
Jude, that means if we go by his prediction, Liverpool will have conceded in 5 of their first league games. However, they've run away with all the points. They conceded against Norwich, they conceded against Southampton. Last weekend they conceded against Newcastle first, but there was a response from Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Your prediction this time around?
It will be 3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. Interesting. I also do think Liverpool are favourites to win. However, Chelsea could as well be pushing for a point in this one. If you're betting on this one, for safety, go for X2 on www.betway.ug. We're going to take a break. When we return, we'll be discussing how Manchester City may need another centre-back, probably with qualities better than those of Jude, or Manchester United should be getting Marcus Rashford to score a penalty each weekend. We'll be right back.
We're giving you the chance to boost your multi-bet winnings by up to 100%. To activate your boost, Create your bet slip, check your boost, and place your bet. It's that simple. The more selections you add, the bigger your boost. Visit Betway online now. Betway, for the love of the game.
Now, still talking the English Premier League, Manchester City is in second place but 5 points already behind the leaders Liverpool, and even if City lost last weekend, they maintain the place still second. Jude, normally when City loses games, the next opponent faces it rough.
Yeah.
Watford heads to the Etihad on Saturday.
Yeah. I think it's City will want to bounce back, but we saw what Watford could do. They attacked Arsenal relentlessly on Sunday, the game they drew 2-2. So we hope they can replicate that in the game on Saturday and get something out of City.
Does Watford stand any chance, Edward?
Yes, they do stand a chance because, like you said, City will come out for vengeance to come and kill, but they have to be very, 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 very steady because their defense is not yet complete. They have Laporte out. They have who's the other centre back who is out?
John Stones.
Yes, John Stone is also out. So they have to be very, very clever when they're playing this game because Watford is still a very good side.
And Troy Dean is back
Yes, and
from
trading
injury.
it's definitely a tight game. It's a tight game.
They should hope that Watford didn't get a penalty.
Yeah.
Troy Denny always buries those.
Always very
Yeah, but we're talking of a Manchester City that has Sergio Aguero, 7 goals. Raheem Sterling should have 5 goals already to his name. Then Kevin De Bruyne, he's the other old Kevin De Bruyne of 2 seasons ago. Not the one who got injured last season, you know?
Yes.
Or he will lay that pass on the ground that's like a cross and then Aguero is just tapping into the back of the net.
Well, we're not sure whether Guardiola will start him. He's a Tinkerman these days.
I'm surprised that last week he didn't play
start
him,
De
and
Bruyne.
everyone
Yeah.
expected him to start De Bruyne because he has been really playing well.
Is it because he feared Europe? Probably.
I think he was resting him for Europe, and he did not anticipate Norwich bringing it that much.
So he undermined Norwich.
Exactly.
I doubt Pep Guardiola will undermine Watford at the Etihad on Saturday. The odd for City to win on www.betway.ug is at 1.12, but that for Watford is as high as 19.75, implying stake your 1 million shillings on Watford to win at the Etihad. You'll be walking away with 19.75 million on Saturday. Jude, are you going for Watford?
No. I'm not taking the gamble. I think Man City will win this one.
Edward?
I'm going with City too because I know after that Norwich defeat, it must have been crazy in that dressing room.
But as well, Watford know what will be coming up. I do expect either both teams to score or probably an over 1.5 to be able to tick on that one. But City remain favourites to win this particular encounter. Still talking the Manchester sides, Manchester United did get their campaign underway on Thursday in the UEFA Europa League against Astana. On Sunday, they'll be travelling to play West Ham United. Now, United hasn't won at West Ham since January 2017. Jude, here's where I come to you. United, they seem to be getting the results. 8 points on board after 5 games. They've responded from that defeat against Crystal Palace. They managed to beat Leicester City 1-0. Wasn't convincing, but the machine keeps rolling.
Yeah, and it's funny how if we had this chat last week, we would have been talking about something different. Probably Man United in a crisis, a disastrous season. But now here we have 8 points, 2 points away from City, and the table is flattering us.
Yeah.
So we play a West Ham side, which has been tricky over the years, but also if we are to go back in history, they're our favorite opponents, the one we like to score against. So I'm hoping we can do that again on Sunday. We are hoping for the return of some players from injury. I saw today Pogba and Shaw in individual training, meaning they most likely won't be involved in the Europa game. So we hope to have them back. And with Pogba in the team, it makes the team better.
Makes the team better. Pogba is the nucleus of Manchester United.
Yes.
United knows how to do the business at Old Trafford. Yes. In the season where they struggled to win at home, they will not win away. But now, they try to mix the results.
Yes.
Of course, all the wins that United has picked up have been at Old Trafford, Chelsea and Leicester City.
Yes.
They travel to West Ham. They haven't won there, like I've said. And West Ham, seems at least to poke in the eyes of the Giants, at least an opponent every season. It could be United. You never know.
Well, I would want to give Man United an edge in this game. I think they'll be boosted by the recent contract extension signing of David De Gea and also of Lindelof. He has just signed a new contract. So I think they'll be more motivated this game to get the win, though their games have not been really, really convincing of late. It has been more of grinding out results than actual good football and display.
What's your prediction for this one?
1-0. I see Man U running away with 1-0.
Who's goal?
What can I call it? Maguire. I say Maguire goal.
Interesting.
Header.
Jude?
I see us winning this one 2-1. You know, West Ham have a very good attack. Felipe Anderson, Sebastian Haller. I'm not sure we can contain those guys for 90 minutes without leaking a goal. So I see us winning 2-1.
United winning 2-1. And of course, United going into this weekend has had one of the best defenses, considered only 4 goals. Clean sheet against Chelsea, clean sheet against Leicester City. And I actually do think United could be the favourites to win this one, though it will be another cagey encounter. The odd for United to win on www.betway.ug is at 2.07, and that for West Ham at home as high as 3.38. Do not write off West Ham. You will only write them off at your own peril. Now, the other teams that we can discuss include Leicester City, who do host Tottenham Hotspurs. Leicester struggled at Old Trafford last weekend, and Spurs got it easy at home against Crystal Palace last weekend. Harry Kane didn't score. He scored in the Champions League this week. He should be itching to score again away at Leicester. But Leicester have got a man called Jamie Vardy.
True. And that's one fixture which is always goal-laden. You always expect 3 or more goals in that fixture. And last week Tottenham won by 4 goals, but there were unusual scorers. The one you wouldn't expect, no Kane scoring. You didn't see an Eriksen assist. But on the game on the weekend, we expect I expect it to be a draw, a 2-2 draw. Yeah, with Leicester home, and they want to bounce back from the defeat against Man United, and Tottenham want to find their rhythm in the season.
Edward, your thoughts on this one?
I'll give it to Tottenham. I think they're really in good form. Son is playing very good football, and they'll want to continue. And just like you said, Ken didn't score last weekend, so he'll want to build on this Champions League goal and bring his form into the league.
Okay, and then the odd for Spurs to win on Saturday is 2.31 on www.betway.ug. And the other team that we'll discuss this weekend is none other than Arsenal. The other team that will be playing at the time Chelsea plays Liverpool on Sunday. They do host Aston Villa at the Emirates. Easy one on paper? Or tough one?
On paper it's very easy for Arsenal, because the Aston Villa in the they already look like relegation candidates. But this is a team that has 13 new players. I think they're struggling to gel.
With injuries.
Yeah, and injuries. So, but it's a tough one playing against such a team. They have nothing to lose. They could come and spoil the party for you. So Arsenal should be wary of that.
Okay, and these are the games that a man called Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang loves to play. He plays the small teams.
Yes, Aubameyang has really proven that he's a top striker. He has been banging the goals, but I think it's because of that defense that they're not really progressing that much. But Aubameyang is really, really, really good. The only issue I have with Arsenal since Emery Unai came is he seems to always get his team selections not so well, and they always end up in a kind of a situation.
The guys watching the Arsenal games are choosing the lineups better than him.
Exactly. Even me, not an Arsenal fan, I can see that he doesn't get his team selection good all the time, and it costs him very, very much. So I hope this time against Aston Villa, he'll pick the right team.
Pick the right team. The odd for Arsenal to win at the Emirates is at 1.39, and of course for Aston Villa as high as 7.15. You can bet on all the Premier League games this weekend on www.betway.ug, and as well, do not forget to change your teams in the Fantasy Premier League. I don't know which striker I'll be going for, because all those that I've been picking, sadly go on to disappoint on the particular weekends, except for one when Aguero just did it right against Bournemouth. But well, we're putting a wrap to the Premier League, and special thanks Jude Mugabe coming through to the Just Darren show,
Always a pleasure.
and Edward Tumwine, the Chelsea football fan, also coming through for the Just Darren show.
Thank you for having me.
Special thanks, guys. You can bet on all the games. The big one, like I did say, is Chelsea against Liverpool. My favorite is Liverpool to win, though I fancy both teams to score. All available on www.betway.ug. Like Liverpool in the English Premier League, only one team still maintains the 100% record thus far in the Italian Serie A. After 3 matches, only Inter Milan counts 9 points so far. That's after they managed to beat Udinese a 0-0 last weekend. And actually that result meant that Inter threw Juventus off the patch of the Italian Serie A, Juve falling off for the first time in a space of 552 days last weekend. That's after Juventus played out a goalless draw against Fiorentina last weekend. Now this weekend, does Inter stay top? That remains the big question. They've got a big match when they face AC Milan in the Milan derby. This comes up at the San Siro on Saturday night. It's the late kickoff encounter, and guess what? Inter haven't lost to AC Milan in the last 6 meetings of the Milan derby. Secondly, in the last 10 meetings, AC Milan has only won twice, Inter has won 4 times. And well, the statistics do favor Antonio Conte's side. Conte, the former coach of Juventus, hopes he can win another Scudetto title with Inter Milan. This time round, they've started pretty well. Stefano Sensi got them the goal against Udinese last weekend. They've had goals coming from names like Lautaro Martinez, the Argentine forward, Romelu Lukaku, and not to forget the man that is Matteo Politano. Quite a number of Inter Milan players are able to get them goals, others on the other hand for AC Milan, who are able to bag in the goals are the big man Krzysztof Piatek, the forward, and also names like Frank Kessie in the midfield, Ante Rebic, who came off the bench last weekend in their victory, and not forget a couple of other names. However, they've got to do some work, AC Milan, because, well, if they are to keep the clean sheets like they've done this season, they are the team with the highest number of clean sheets in the Serie A in 2019, 10 to be exact, and Inter may have to break that deadlock if they are to pick the 3 points and remain top of the table. The odd for Inter to win on www.betway.ug is at 2.12, but that for AC Milan is as high as 3.58. For a draw, it is as high as 3.35 on www.betway.ug. Now, prior to that, Juventus will face Chievo Verona, and Juventus will be hoping to get back to winning ways following their visit to Atletico Madrid on Wednesday night in the UEFA Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo has only a goal in the Serie A this season. He can be able to add on to his tally this weekend, and the odd for Juventus to win is at 1.16 at the Allianz Stadium in Turin. The other team to talk about is Napoli, who do visit Lecce on Sunday. Napoli have their odd at 1.39, and that for the host Lecce is at 7.72. You can bet on the Italian Serie A as well as the German Bundesliga. Do not forget that in France there is the big one between PSG, who do visit Olympique Lyon, and that one has got 2 teams fighting to get to the summit. PSG at the top and hoping that the forwards Kylian Mbappe and Edinson Cavani are back in time for this one. You can bet on all the top 5 leagues in Europe. Not to forget Sevilla, who do host Real Madrid in the Spanish La Liga on Sunday. All odds available on www.betway.ug. Special thanks for watching the Just Darren show, and do not forget, it's Just Darren.